And we're live, everybody. Hello, 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 hello. Guys, we're gonna be going over my mod a little bit here, real quick. We're gonna just throw it into red mode here. We're gonna watch this thing in action. Gonna show off what I've been making changes to over the week. I'll probably miss a lot of stuff, but I'll cover the big additions, changes, whatever you want to call them. To the mods, just so you can kind of get a little bit of an update if you're watching this on my channel. I'm gonna try and start doing that every time I stream at the beginning of the stream. Just give a quick little update as to where it's at. So maybe you'll find the stream a little bit more interesting if you don't normally watch this type of thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and load up my flat world here, super flat. It's my test world I've been playing out with here lately because I was doing some changes to the conveyors. You see I've got conveyors all over the place here. And let's just go over the changes. But let me talk with the donkey first because I hate rain. In fact, slash weather clear. Lots of numbers. No more rain for a while. Okay, so as you can see, the conveyors are still directional. They go in the direction that you've placed them from, about like a piston. But on the backside here, there's a change to this. The part that looks like it's lifting actually lifts. And if you continue to stack these things up like I've done here, you can make a nice little elevator type system. I know lots of people were asking for an elevator in Minecraft, and yes, this does work with players and other entities too. And I was working on the change to make these things diagonal. Diagonal is a pain in the tuchus. I haven't given up on it completely, but I think I like this better because this solves some other requests as far as, having elevators and stuff like that. If I place these up like this, you'll get a nice little elevated animation there, and you can fall off the other side. Of course, in creative, you won't take fall damage, but if I was in survival and I did something like this, where I've got two to catch me on the way back down, I still won't take fall damage because they won't actually hit the ground. So that's kind of what I've done over here. If you take a look at this, I've got this super elevator here. Let me set this to peaceful so these slimes don't attack me. Okay, and then let's go into game mode 0. I think I've set this thing up properly. It was pretty late last night. I might change it. But as you can see here, I'm skyrocketing to this build height here. That was from bedrock at 0. All the way up to the top of the world at 255. I'm up here, and I fall back down. And I'm not going to take any fall damage, assuming I hit this right. I don't know if I will. I do. Look at that. Amazing, right? Elevators in Minecraft. Really, really OP. I don't know if I care. This is cool. The reason I went up that fast instead of at about this speed is because I had them on each side. So if you get in there and you place one like this. Oops. I don't have any more. Do I? I do not. Can I break these by hand? No, I cannot. Okay, game mode. One. Hello, viewer. And let's get a conveyor. And throw these down like this. Now all of a sudden I've got 3 times the lifting power on me. So see how fast I've rocket up there. And of course you can't at the very bottom make it 4 because you need to be able to walk into the thing, right? But once you get up past that, these 3 on the very bottom can lift you into the section where you have a 4 on each side, or 1 on each side, so you get a total of 4, and then you can get some serious lifting. Bam, almost instantly to the top of that stuff. Just keep in mind if you do this, you see how I kind of got stuck. Let me just run in here again. I didn't actually go off anyway. It's because there's conveyors every direction pulling me. They're trying to rip me apart, basically. One that way, one that way, one that way, etc. So whatever direction you want to go when you get to the top, just leave that one a conveyor and have the other ones be like dirt or some other block. See? And they just pull you right out in that direction. So that's the change to conveyors. Like I said, I haven't given up completely on making them be diagonal like tracks. I actually have a separate instance of my code that has diagonals on it. But the problem is the bounding box of the things. Sorting it out so that you can have them be blocks you can stand on, but yet walk through them when they're diagonals is a little bit of a tricky thing to deal with. And to be honest, this just solves it all around because you can do crazy things. Like, look at these items. These items will, well, if they weren't on the very edge there, they'll go up this thing. You can lift items. You can lift whatever you want up as high as you want. And, you know, I've set up kind of a little conveyor system that routes them back around. If that one was a conveyor belt also, it would do the same thing. Yeah. Let's see what else we got. The loader made some somewhat... I don't know. I've been playing this in survivals, getting ready for alpha release, basically. And I realized that the loader is a little bit underpowered because it could originally only break blocks at this height. It couldn't do anything below or above, so it became very frustrating because you basically had to dig a hole for it big enough for it to sit in, so that... Let me see something. Yeah, it's okay. So that you could get it down low enough to dig straight in front of it, because it had to be on the same levels where the wheels were sitting. Now the loader, once I get some fuel. Another thing is, I don't know if I, on the last stream, had fuel as a thing. I might have. Everything needs fuel now. So we can now move that loader bucket down a little bit and dig down one layer deeper, so that you can just dig down. You can also dig one layer up a little bit. It only does one layer up. It doesn't go the full height of this thing. And that's mainly because I want it to be in a situation where you can make this... There we go. Want to make it in a situation where you can make this thing be a little bit precise, and then, you know, you dig your way out of a hole and then just lift the bucket up to say to here, where it's not quite dumping everything out, but yet it's not also breaking blocks, and then you can dig your way out of a hole or climb out of a hole with it. Just makes it a little bit more useful. And I don't know in real life if they ever actually use the bucket up that high to actually pick things up. At that point, it's kind of unstable. You know, you add a bunch of weight to it, it's probably going to tip it, that kind of thing. What else is the major change? Oh, now we get some creeper eggs out here and set the game mode back to, or the difficulty back to hard, so they stick around. And let's, not creepers is a bad example. Probably let's do slime. Do slime here. Okay, so we got some slime. I'm gonna hop in this thing and I'm gonna drive over one of these guys, and you'll see they'll start taking damage. Slimes are awful because they run away, but machines damage entities in the world. They do not damage the player if you're not riding the machine. If someone's riding in it, it will damage players. That's just to prevent you from, when you hop out, if you fall down right inside of it, you don't take damage right away. Stuff like that. That's the other major change. And that applies to all machines, not just the loader. I've done little changes here and there to things. I've been playing a lot of survival, like I said, trying to get it to where it's ready for some type of release so we can get people testing it. But today, on the stream, what I'm going to work on next is we have our... I don't know if I showed these off, so I'm going to show them off. We have a fuel pump, we have a distiller, and we have a fermenter, all which need textures here in the inventory. But we have a fuel pump, a distiller, and a fermenter. So you put your corn in the fermenter, it ferments it, turns it into fermented mash. That then gets transferred via that little tiny tube down there to the distiller. You give the distiller some fuel, so coal or whatever, and it burns it, distills that fermented mash into ethanol, basically, and that fuel gets transferred into the fuel pump. And if you put anything that can accept fuel into the fuel pump, it will fill it up. That's kind of how it works for now. I might eventually make it so that if you have a machine directly in front of the fuel pump, that it will fill it up, but that's probably in a later release. So that is all working there, but we have our conveyor working. Our crusher. Crusher now needs fuel, so you'll have to right click on it with a fuel can, just like you do all the other machines, to get it to run. Don't have a GUI for it yet. I probably will add one at one point so that you can see what the fuel level is. And then, of course, we have our conveyors. And what I was originally planning on, you have a crusher with a conveyor coming out of it so that all the items come out. And then you take that over to a magical block. We'll just use this one. This isn't the block. A magical block called a sorter. And what the sorter is going to do is it's going to output things in each of the 4 cardinal directions based on whatever you put in its inventory. I'm hoping to make it so it's ghost blocks or ghost items, but I don't know how to do that, so we'll figure it out as we go, right? For now, it might just be you actually store an item in it. But the idea is then that this thing will output the items either here, here, or here based on what you've told it to sort to the north, east, south, or west. And yeah, so then you can just take your conveyors out of that thing and get the items to go where you want. And of course, now the conveyors can lift items. You can also get them back up to the same level by doing, well, by doing this. So it'll output here, it'll lift it up, and it'll continue on down the conveyor line. Excuse me. So that's how this is going to work. Let's get working on this block. Okay, so we know we're going to need a block. Let's do ahead and copy the conveyor itself. Not that we want to use a lot of its code, but we just need something to base our block on. So conveyor, and we want this to be a screen is what we're going to call it, because this is what the real world machine is called. It's called a screen. It actually moves things between different locations or sorts items out, basically. So let's copy this reference here to final static machine, and we're going to call it screen, and we'll call it machine screen. And we'll go back with that in our clipboard and paste that there. Good to go. Our sound is metal. That sounds good for hardness. Not so sure about it being rock, but whatever. Oops, mistype. Getting somebody that's popping in and out of the stream here. Feel free to say hello. Be social. I do believe we're going to need a tile entity for this, so we want to have that created. We're not going to be so concerned about the facing of this, though, I don't believe. We're just going to have it automatically have a northeast, southwest type thing on the GUI, and we'll leave it at that. So I'm going to take this out. That's going to give us lots of errors. Let's go back to the reference class, because I must not have saved that. I didn't. Now if I save this, it should have this error go away. It did. Okay, and then we've got this giving us fits, so we can get rid of that. Hello, Joller. You're a games channel. Cool. So we can get rid of this because we no longer need that. And should lift will not apply. That was something specific to the conveyor. Hello, Terminator. And Ronnie. Wow, it says there was 2 people watching. Now there's like 3 people that already said something. YouTube, fix your stuff. Block place we don't need to worry about. Get state for render. Get state for entity render. Don't think we need to worry about that one. Get state from meta. Nope, we're not going to have states in this block. It's just going to be a regular block. Regular block, regular block, regular block. There we go. Yay! Now, we need to create a tile entity for this thing, which will have to override this piece here. But let's go ahead and create our new tile entity first. So tile entity screen. Now that we've got that created, we can change this down here. Tile entity screen. So how are you guys doing today? What you up to? I know you're watching the stream here, but anything else going on? What brought you to watch the stream? Are you just interested in Minecraft mods in general? Okay, so we don't really need to worry about the bounding box. We don't need to worry about the move speed. We don't need to worry about is the block powered and all this junk. Or process entities in list. Something your YouTube channel. In YouTube, please. Are you trying to ask for a shout out? Because that's not cool. Like, why does everybody do that? They come to another channel and they're trying to advertise their own. It's really annoying. We do need to add this stuff here. We need to find a bounding box. We do need that bounding box, I guess. Propitiate. Yeah. I don't think that's the word that you think it is. We don't need to worry about the directional stuff. We just want to check for the block above this thing. That should do that, I believe. We need to take off this should lift stuff. Actually, this is what we want right here. We want to check if it's a machine. Screen. Oh, we gotta create it first. So let's go back over here to the blocks. Copy this conveyor line. Paste it in. Screen. Okay, and then where's the conveyor here? And screen. I know some of this kind of be a little bit boring, but once we get past this, just cut and paste junk, then it'll pick up a bit. And screen here. And what I'm doing right now is creating the reference for this tile entity so that it knows what to load in. Okay, and I think back here on the screen, I changed that to screen. I did. Okay. And we need to set the renderer down here. So conveyor and screen. And screen. That should take care of all this chunk. Okay, so the block is now registered in the game, which means now in here we can check for it. Where was I? Machine screen should show up. It does. So we're saying if this at this position in the world, we don't need to check if it's powered, do we? We could, but let's just let it always run for now. Why you know like me? Save. Do I really need another one? Oh, I've had one too many. There we go. So it's a screen. We're going to set the bounding box. We're going to process entities in the list. We do not process living entities, just item entities in this case. We don't need to set their move speed at all. We don't need to get the facing direction of it. We don't need to look to see if it's a lifting one. We don't need to deal with lifting at all. And we don't need to move the entity. So we can just basically gut this code here altogether. We need to just grab it into its inventory, look at it, compare it to what all the different slots are really, and then move it on. And something's funny with my thing. We'll get rid of that. Blah, blah, blah. Da, da, da. The for loop. Okay, we need an extra one. That's what's wrong. Okay, formatting's out of the way. So now we need to set up an inventory. So let's go ahead and look at the fermenter. It has an inventory. So we need to grab this and put it onto what? My blocks has an error. No. No. Extra E. There we go. Put it over to here. This is the inventory piece. And we don't need to worry about sided inventories on all this junk. We are updatable. We just want to be implements inventory. Inventory. Implements inventory. Yay. Now we're going to error off for that, and we're going to get a whole bunch of unimplemented methods that we need to deal with. And I've found it's just easiest just to basically go to screen here. Make this one maximized. And pull this one off to this side in its own little window. Bam. Okay, and we go back to our screen. Get name, so we can just search for get name over here. Nope. Has custom name? Nope. Get display name, nope. Get inventory size, we can just return the length of the inventory. Get stack and slot. Of course, we're going to deal with that one. Also get rid of these comments here because we know we've dealt with them now. Somebody once told me that I need to do that. Oh, and slot, so I need to call that slot. Decrement and space. Now this one's going to be a little different. Oh, this is different code. Okay, here we go. Sorry. Get on there right. We need slot and amount, so we'll do that. Get stack in slot. Get stack on closing. And it's going to be a couple methods that are going to be slightly different because it's not going to be I-sided inventory over here. This one was. Because I wanted specific slots to go to specific locations based on which side it was going into. Usable by player. Of course that's going to be usable by player. Open inventory is going to do nothing. Close inventory is going to do nothing. Not even sure we really need to override those. I guess there's something that's requiring us to in the superclass. Implementation, it needs it. Get field, we do not need to deal with that one, even though it's defined over here. We are accepting every item for everything in here. We need to come back and change that at some point on the fermenter. It'll take anything in its inventory. It needs to only be corn or probably sugar cane at some point. Get field count and clear. Is that really all there is to it, guys? Seems a little... Get slot for face. No, that's cited specific, and that's just that tile entity specific. Okay. Actually, that'd be interesting. We could just set that somehow. So we're good to go there. So we've got our inventory implemented. We have not defined its size. We need to go back up to the constructor to do that. And we're going to set that there like that. And we're going to set the inventory size like this. What we do? Public final int. We'll do 5 because we want one for each of the 4 directions and then whatever it picks up, right? Okay, there we go. So there's that. We need to now, in our process entities in list, we're pretty much ensured it's going to be an item entity. We know that it's not null because we're checking there. So we can now cast that entity to an item entity type and then deal with item entity stuff. So let's do that. Entity item equals EI because I'm weird. Entity item. Okay, and entity. So now we have that defined as an entity item, and we can do entity item stuff to it, like I said. Get item. Let's look at our loader class, loader entity. Oh, gotta get out of full screen. There we go. Entity loader. So we basically want to suck it into the inventory, right? So we're going to do that very easily by just taking the code that already does that from this thing. Collides entities and list, and we are taking, we're doing a check to make sure it's an instance of item. Fair enough. Bingo. Add to inventory. That's really not defined anywhere. Okay. Add to inventory. And this is going to try and put it in any inventory slot. So we're going to have to modify this a little bit. We'll accept this for now. We need to have this be only looking at one slot in this particular function. Get rid of that comment. There we go. We can set this to be, let's have slot 5 be the magic one. Oh, I guess it'd be 4. Yeah, the last slot, slot 4. So we can just set J to that and be done. Don't need a for loop at all. Get rid of one of these. J equals 4 now. Item stack is not null. We're going to get the stack in slot for J. If it's not null, we're going to get the item that's in there. So if there's something in there, we're going to see what item it is. If it's the same item as the item stack we're passing to this, we're going to get the damage value, see if it's the same damage value. If that is, then we're going to proceed on and try and see if the stack size of the stack there is less than the max stack size for that slot. So if there's room to put additional items in that single slot, we're going to add them to it, that type of thing, or else we're just going to set the inventory contents directly to it. If there's nothing in the item stack, we're going to set all that stuff up. Not sure why we do that down there, and that's a typo. It's been working. We'll leave it like this for now. So we're going to add it to a specific slot now, basically, is what we've got going on. If it's not able to pick that item up, it's going to leave it on the ground, or we're going to set the entity items stack size back to whatever has been returned from this, which is whatever's left over. If, say, there was only room for 5, but we had a whole stack sitting on the ground, it's going to pick up those 5, give us the 59 back, and we're going to set that into the item entity size, any stack size. So we're good. This should pick up items off the ground now, guys. That's all there was to it. So next thing we need to do, let's go ahead and test this. Let's make sure it picks them up. And we need to have one more function eventually. To do add method to sort items. So that's the one that's actually going to look at what's in our stack slot 5, or inventory slot 5, compare it to each of the 4 individual other slots, and move the item to wherever it needs to be, out that direction. So let's go ahead and do one more thing. Let's make a little note up here. So slot 0 equals north, slot 1 equals east, slot 2 equals west, and slot 3 equals, wait, went south first. South, west. There you go. That should make it a little easier having that just defined now. I might come back and change that based on the cardinal directions in Minecraft. We'll see. Yes, save. Run it. Run it, my friends. The Terminator commented on my video, it says on my phone. Seiko Terminator. I'm assuming it says hello. Get to the chopper. Okay, so we should have a new block if I did things right. It is the screen, which it doesn't have a localization yet because I'm a derp. It doesn't have a text yet because I didn't create one. And if I throw an item on this, it gets sucked up into its inventory. I can't right click on it yet because we don't have a GUI. If I throw another item onto it, it shouldn't get sucked up into it because it's only going to try and suck it up into that 5th slot, even though we have 2, 3, 4 other slots defined. Now, let's take a look at this. I am facing west. In the old versions of Minecraft, in this facing line, I think it used to say what the number was. Yay, it doesn't anymore. So let's go back to, let's see, the conveyor is in new facing, but it's on the block. Yep, and we want to take a look at the property, in this enum facing. So 0 is down, 1 is up, 2 is north, 3 is south, 4 is east, and 5 is... Okay, so that's not going to work for us at all. Okay, I was thinking maybe I could just use those numbers to have it, but it starts with 0 being up and down. So, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so instead, let's just work through this then. We need to first create an inventory for it, right? So we need a container, we need a GUI. Ooh, I actually need to change the first GUI. All of my GUIs have been using the same image before. Let's close this, open this, because I'm lazy. EXPLORER, and then a dot without the extra E at the end. Boom, Explorer in the right spot. Let's see, we need to go to source, main, resources, assets, machine mod, textures, GUIs, and copy this one. Let's open it in Photoshop. So I guess the center slot will be whatever it's trying to sort out. And we can get rid of this grid. Wow, that grid's awful. Show grid. Okay, so the center slot's going to be what we're going to show. What's in its inventory, right? So I can move this to be at the center of this GUI. Right there. Can I move it somehow? No, you're not going to tell me, are you, Photoshop? Okay, so then I can paste another one. Yeah, awesome. And I can paste another one. And another. And another. Then I can do what? Select that area. Paste it somewhere. There we go. Start filling this in. Actually, it's probably easier if I do this. Ah! Thought that was my eyedropper. Ah! What? Okay, tolerance is way too high. 0, please. What? Oh, that's what's wrong. I'm on the wrong layer. It's about to say. Just get rid of all of these. Oh no. No. Stop affecting this, Len. I don't want you to affect this one. Okay, fine. Affect that one. Oh, it's affecting all these too. Dang it. Okay, so I shall trick you to do my bidding. Goodbye. Okay, now I think we're good. Just need to create like an arrow type thing and rotate it around. Those don't look perfectly evenly spaced to me. Maybe they are. No, they're not. So which one am I grabbing here? That's the top one, I think. Okay, so now if I... There we go. Wish there's a way to constrain the left and right on this. Oh my goodness, the wiggles. There we go. There we go. Actually, grid lines would help, wouldn't they? Just at a different spacing. So let's do the grid. Edit preferences. General grid units. Where are you? Let's do it every 10 pixels. That doesn't help much. 16. 8. 7. Okay, it's lined up, kind of. It needs to be bumped over one. Because see, I'm on the black line there, and the black line's over one there. So I think that'll do for what I'm looking for. What? Don't complain to me, just do my bidding. There, that's lined up now. These are all lined up with each other, that's what I wanted up there. I think we're okay. So now if I take a pencil tool, create a new layer, because I'm probably going to derp this up a lot. And I somehow in the center of this, with the proper color, which is going to be that one, go like this, and it go like this, with a bigger pencil. Shut up. Go away. Boom. 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 Ah, the uglies. They're real. Okay. I shall outwit you, hopefully, eventually. No. Go back to the pencil multiple. No. You know what? Let's do this instead. Let's just put a big N, S, W, and E. We can even do it with a text tool so it doesn't have to look horrible. N. That's a bit big. Come on. There we go. That's the good size. No. Okay, and then another one for south. Another one for east. And another one for west. Wow, West, why don't you just ruin it for everybody? Be ugly. East and south, pretty hard to make out too, but eh. Okay, so this works for GUI for now. Not gonna spend all day on this. So now we need to save this with a different name so that I don't go to sleep crying tonight. We'll save it up here. We'll call this Screen GUI. No, just call it, Screen GUI, because I'm going to probably create a screen texture otherwise. So there we go there. We need to save it as again, this time as a PNG in the proper location where Minecraft can actually read the thing in. Resources, machine mod, assets, machine mod, textures, GUI, Screen GUI. Yay, back to code. Okay, so we need to create a new GUI itself. We can base it off of which one. Really doesn't matter. At least I hope it doesn't matter, because I want it not to matter. Screen. And we're looking at tile entity fuel pump. We need to go tile entity screen. We need to copy that down here. And we can change the name of this to screen. My keyboard is all wonky right now. Let me fix it. The one leg's folded up. There we go. And we'll change that in a second. But we can change this first. Screen. Enter. Yes, continue. I don't care what you're airing off about. Fuel storage. Yes, you don't have fuel storage, do you? We don't need that then. Screen GUI. We're sizing, centering things. Sure. Container. Okay, we gotta create this container. Then we'll be good on this. Screen. Container, canner, So container canner to container screen. Yay! Container screen. We can change this one to say screen. You can kind of tell by like at this point in the coding, it's just like a lot of repetitive cut and paste junk. Kind of. So using your IDE to its most like that, where it changes all the occurrences of that variable is very useful. Control Shift R is what I'm doing. Then hitting enter after I make the change. Yes, go ahead. And I've misspelled this. Let's see. R-E-E-N. Whoa, what did you do? Craziness. Why you don't like me? Down on the screen. Get rid of some errors. That shouldn't have been screen. That should have been canner. Why is it airing off? Oh, it's the inventory. Okay. Really, tile entity screen's not an I inventory? I just thought, yeah, that's an I inventory. Why are you complaining? There should be a comma there. There should be other things there too. Wow. A J, perhaps. This is all going to change anyway. I'm not sure why I'm fixing this. Why are you upset about that? Oh. Derp, 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 derp. Now what? Now what you don't like? There. Go away, error. You're not supposed to be there. You're not even a real error. Aha, there's the letter there. You couldn't even see it. Okay, so we need to add 5 slots. They need to be in specific places on the screen. So let's just do that ourselves, I guess. Manually, because it's only 5. So we need to add slot to container. It's not going to be at any of this type of junk like this, or this, or this. What is it going to be? So I need to figure out what this is telling us. So it's going to be an I inventory. We know that. Of course, you're not going to tell us. It's probably the X and the Y, and then, or the slot, the X and the Y. Slot number. Look at that. The slot and the X and the Y. So slot first. So it's going to be slot 0. I believe this is 0 based. And the X on this is going to be at wherever Photoshop tells me this position is, if it can actually tell me where my cursor is. How do I do that? I do not know. I might need to open another image editor program. Really? You can't tell me where this spot is right here? You stink, Photoshop. View. Show. Come on, I just need the thing to tell me where I'm at. Anybody know? Anybody at all? Guess I could do this. It's kind of doopy. 8130. Two, 3, 4, 5. So the 5th slot's gonna be that center one, or the 4th slot. 3, 2, 1. So this will be north. Slot 0. Wait, what did we say over on the tile entity screen? I'll pull us off onto another window. Where did you go? Hello, tile entity screen. I think I might have lost you. Dang it. Oh, I don't see it on my screen. It's not there, it's not there, it's not there. Yeah, it's not there. Close all of the things. Yes, save. Oh man. It's not on my other monitors. Window. I can't even drag it over to here. Oh, there it is. It's off the side of the screen. Wow. Okay. So now that I've got that up, I can look at that on my second monitor for these numbers. That's what I was trying to do. In fact, let's just cut and paste these in here. That probably would have been easier than derping around for 15 minutes. Okay. So we're good there. We got north, so this will be east. This will be south. And west. Kind of going around the clockwise there. So we got that. Let's do this. And let's figure out where east is. East is over here. And it's going to be at 141 or 114.64. One 64. Okay, then south. It's going to be at 81.98. Must have done something right about lining these two up on the x-axis there. And this one here, 44.64. Again, same axis, that's good. And the center one. So that should be 81 and 64 if I did everything right. And it is. Yay. Okay, so we've got 5 set up there. Ah! Went vertically across 2 screens. Okay, so we're good to go here. I want to say one of these 9s is off. I don't know which one. We'll just leave it like it is for now. This is going to be 5. 5. And we'll have to do some magic in this stuff so that you can't shift click into specific slots. I think that should be 5. Detect and send changes. We don't need to deal with that. There's no progress bar stuff in the screen. No setting fields, none of that junk. Okay, so now we need to go back to our GUI handler. And in here, we've got the fermenter. Good, so we can just continue on. Else if GUI reference class needs to be opened. We've got the distiller, we'll copy that, we'll paste a new one. GUI screen, if I can spell GUI. That should be ID 8. We can go test terminate. I didn't even know you're still running. Go back and we can change that one. This is going to get a tile entity. The tile entity is going to be an instance of entity screen this time. I see REEN. And we're going to take and make a open a container of that type. and we can cast this to screen. Perfection. Do the same thing for the other side. One of these is client, one of these is server. So this is the client side. And this is where it's going to send a network packet to tell it to open that specific GUI. So GUI screen. Oops, not 0, shift. GUI 10 entity screen. And we're going screen. Bam. We should now have a screen set up that has a GUI. We need to take the fermenters code here. It's like first active or something crazy. There's a part in here where it's opening the GUI. I just need to grab the right line. GUI. There it is. On block activated. And we need to put that in our screen code. And we change it to GUI screen. Now, so let's open this. What we should have now is a block we can right click on, and it will open up its GUI. The GUI won't really do anything. We can store items in it though, which is what we want. Single player, we will need to set up MBT data, I just realized, but that's okay. So right click, oh yes, we've got a GUI and we can put items into each individual slot. Yay for us. Yay for us. Next. Is there anything else that needs to be done to this? This block looks smaller than it's before. Wonder why. I don't know. Not that it matters. Stupid slimes. Okay, so let's just go back to the Talonity code and actually make it spit the items out in the proper direction next. Based on what's in it. That's going to be in this update code. So we're going to add a new call here. So private void move items in inventory. Okay, so we're just going to go for a for loop for int I equals 0, I is less than inventory dot get size, no, dot size, length. Actually, I think I have a function that calls called get size or something. Get inventory size, yeah, let's do that one. If we ever override it, we got it. We're good to go. Actually, we want to only do the first 4. Wow. So it's less than 4. So we want to go 1 through 3, or 0 through 3, and I plus plus. Good to go. So if we need to get the stack in the slot, if get stack in slot I dot get item equals get stack in slot 5, so it's the 5th slot, that center one. If it equals, then we're going to do what? We need to reduce what's in the inventory, and we need to spawn one of them into the world. So decrease, oh wait, we need to get the item itself first. So we need to create a new entity, entity item equals EI equals new entity item and world objects. X, Y, and Z coordinates. This is where we need to figure out which direction it actually is, so which slot it is. So we need to base this on the I value. We can get that in a second. So we'll just have some placeholders, X, Y, and Z. And then the item stack that we're dealing with. So we're going to get that item here again. We're going to create a new stack of 1. No, we're going to create this one. I want to copy this one. New item stack, get item, and stack 1, and the meta. Do the get item and stack dot get meta data off the item stack that's in that slot. Ta-da! We've got a new item. We're setting its X, Y, and Z. We need to set the X, Y, and Z based on. You want to know how to that. Learn to program in Java first. Then there's tutorials all over the place on how to do Minecraft modding. X, Y, and Z are going to be set as ints. Actually, let's do this all in one line. Okay, we're good there. These may not be initialized. That's probably what's hearing off about. Yeah, but initialized variable. So then we want to go if, let's see, switch I case 0 X equals this dot position. Really? I'm messing up the switch statement probably. I don't type Java switch statements enough. Where else am I using one? The conveyor probably. I just need to grab the syntax. There we go. Switch. That's not what we want. Oh, the tile entity of this conveyor probably has it. Nope. Okay, I'm just going to do it as a big if statement, because why not? It'd probably be simpler anyway. If I equals 0, then x equals this dot position dot get x plus whatever number it is that makes it go in this direction in Minecraft. So the x or the 0 is going to be north. So what position is going to be north of here? So we need to add what to go. We're facing north. That's towards negative z. So we need to add in the z axis. That's what that means. So let's say 0.5 for the x, because I think we want to get this in the center of the block. 0.5d. This is going to have to be a double then instead of integers, but that's okay. Double. Lowercase double. And then z. Actually, we can do this. Y equals this dot position dot get y plus 0.5d. So we'll just spawn it in at the center of the block vertically. Always. And then z equals this dot get position. That position dot get z plus 1.5, I think. To do d. And then we do the same thing over and over for each one of these. So else that, and else this. So 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, and 3. So 1 is going to be to the east. So what is to the east? East is in positive x, so we want to do 1.5 there, and only 0.5 there. I've already got a local variable x. What do you mean? Oh. Boom. Errors be gone, please. X cannot be resolved to a variable. Now you can. Shut up, error. Equals 0. Equals 0. Because I'm going to set you to something because you have to be either 1 through 5 on I, 1 through 3. Okay, so now 2 is going to be south, and 2, so the south is towards positive z. Wait, we just did positive z, didn't we? Positive x, positive z. Oh, negative z is north. So we want to take away 1.5. Maybe 1. And what was 2 was to the south. Looking at it here, guys. South, positive z. Okay, and to the 3, which is west, is what? Shut up, slimes. West is to the negative x. I think this is going to work. It'll probably be off a little bit, but we can adjust as needed. We need to now ei.spawn in world. No, world object spawn entity in world, and we give it the ei entity. We should be good to go. We're giving it a slot. We're giving it all that stuff. We need to then return value of this. I think this returns a Boolean. If it responds or not, it does. If it's spawned into the world, we want to decrement our stack. So we can just wrap this thing in an if statement. If that returns true, we want to decrement stack and slot I by 1. And that thing will handle whether or not it's at a 0 size stack and get rid of the whole stack altogether. Oh wait, we want to do 5, not I. There we go. That should do it. There's probably bugs galore, but let's try it. If this works, we now have a screen sorter item or block in the world that will sort our items for us. Yay. Stretch. Been sitting a while. Probably should move my desk up. It is good for me. Okay. So if I put a... It does nothing. Nothing at all. Wow, really? Did I not call that function? Am I that derpy? Move items in inventory. I didn't call it. And we want to return whenever we do this because we've actually successfully spawned it in the world. We've moved an item, so we're going to not move another item. We don't want to loop through everything in the inventory, all 4 of them. Let's close, restart Minecraft. Let's put it in debug mode because we might have to change some of these numbers. Where we go. See, the real benefit of doing this is I'm actually playing this game in survival on my test server, and I want to be able to sort things. So this will let me do it. Oh, we crashed. Wow. Okay. Bad things. Tile entity screen line 48. We're not checking for nulls properly, apparently. Fair enough. we need to do that for both of these. So if that is not null, and if this is not null, which is probably more likely, so we probably should put that one first. Probably more likely to be null because that's the one we're going to be depleting all the time. So we'll put that one first to be a teensy bit more efficient by doing that. And we need to get rid of that space out of there. Perfect. Okay, let's run again. And I'm going to mute my mic for a second because I got to sneeze. Oh, sorry about that. I'm back. Oh, we crashed again? Really? Wow. Okay, tile on your screen 160 this time. Let's keep scrolling up through the stack trace. It's move items in inventory. It's calling that. We're getting the items, so it's 5. Really weird to me. We're not initializing the thing. No, we are. Index array out of bounds 5. Really? Stack size is 5. Oh, we need to do 4, not 5. So 4. All over the place is 4. If somebody that knows programming was watching, they're probably screaming at me this whole time because they should have recognized that. I should have too. Oh no. Wait, what were we adding to the inventory? Yeah, we just set it to 4. Okay. Interesting. Whatever. We're good. That makes me wonder if we did the null check before it was even needed. If it wasn't. No worries. Ooh, Mind Martin uploaded a new video, which is probably related to what I'm doing today. Mind Martin took over for Palomar, actually creating Let's Mod series. He calls it Advanced Modding Tutorials, and it's more about GUIs. So I will probably have to watch some of his more recent one on GUIs because I want to see how to do ghost items, and hopefully he covers ghost items. I'm thinking they probably just do another overlay over top of it to make it look like it's a ghost item, and then you just do some special checks inside the code to see if it's or to not actually save the thing. What do you mean there's a null check? Ticking block entity. What would be null about this? Oh, the get stack and slot piece. Okay. So that's going to return null, potentially. And then is not equal null. And then we want to do J or I. Yeah. More null checks all over the place. If it's null, if it's null, if it's null, if it's null, if it's null. We don't want it to be null. Null bad. Not very bad, yeah. Okay, we didn't crash. We're nowhere near where we were, which is interesting because I must have died or something. Did I spawn the right world? There, okay. Need to set spawn point. Ta-da. Okay, so now I put this in here. It doesn't know what to do with it. It doesn't do anything, right? It doesn't spit it out anywhere, which we probably should handle. But let's get some Ardite and get that out of there. Let's say Ardite goes to the south, and we'll put one. Ooh, look at that. We'll put the whole stack in there. Look at that! Awesome! It goes to the south. Now, I probably need to put a serious cooldown on that thing, because that was extremely fast. And why are these items not picking up into my inventory? Did we crash? No, we didn't crash. Are they not really there? Let's relog. They weren't really there. Were we doing this servers or client side only by mistake? Potentially. So we want to if world object dot is remote is not remote. So we only want to do this stuff on the server side basically. Okay, so let's get out of this, restart, because I don't remember if I put it in debug mode or not. You never want to spawn entities or anything like that client side because it's then desynced from the server, and what you see is not what's actually happening. It's just how Minecraft is. Yes, I'm playing single player, but Minecraft since like 1.6 or maybe even earlier than that, I don't know because I just recently started modding, was set up so that it's basically client and server always. So if I put that back in there, we're good to go. It saves it. Oh, nice. I need to do the shift click stuff, fix that. So I put those there. Bam, they start flying out. I can actually pick them up because they're really spawned there now. Let's put 64 and see if I get 64 back. Looks like I did because I had 62 in that first stack. So let's do this. Awesome. Now, that to me looked like it was spawning in the right position where we wanted to. Right there in the center of that block. That's perfect. Okay, so that's good. Let's try to the west. Actually, was that south? That was south. I didn't really see where these spawned in. Let's try it again. That's too far. So we want to change the west to come back a block. So which one was west? West was 3. So we need to change 3. We'll just do 0.5. I knew this was going to be the case. It's just the way it is. Because like Minecraft, one of these corners is the exact spot. So we're basing off a corner. So there we are. That's just such a satisfying sound when it goes that fast. Okay, let's do... Oops. Let's do north now. And again, it's in the block, so north is 0, so we want to do 0.5. Like that. Ta-da! And then east is on the other side. That's perfect. So now we have a fully functional sorter. Sort. No, screen. Conveyor. So if I do this right, if I say, okay, ore processing plant, let's come this way. Out of our ore processor, we'll drop the items into the screen. Out of that, we'll pick them up in each of these directions. We'll first move them 1 block away from it, so we can get some action going that way. Okay. And just grab some grass. We need to put that there. We'll pick them back up so they can get above the ground. We can run things above ground just so we can see it a little easier running around. Okay, like that. And like this. Put some grass down. There we go. So we see the items coming out. Now we need some things like this. Moving out in each of these directions. Okay, we won't have anything going to the south. We'll put andesite going north, which should be this way. We'll put east, we'll put stone. Wait, does this make sense to go this way? Pointing north. Yeah, it makes sense. So this will be this way. We'll put stone. No, we'll put cobblestone because we're going to grind up stuff. To the east. And what else? We'll put bone meal. To the west. Now I need to change this block, I'm realizing, because this thing needs to have like a default position, because we want to have it so that like you process out of your processing plant, your crusher, it sends everything down this line. It sorts out the diamonds this way, and then the redstone this way, and then everything else continues on. We need to be able to do something like that. Obviously, there's 4 directions on this thing, because the way I've designed it, we can say do something like this and drop the items into it vertically. Say we had a ring around this to make sure that the items actually fall down into it. Straight down onto this block, then they can go off, say, this way too, and be swapped off to another conveyor system. So we really could have 4, but my point is, whatever one doesn't have an item needs to get everything else that doesn't fit in these 3, right? So we need to check which one's null and send everything that way. Maybe even base it randomly eventually. So if you have 2 nulls, you can evenly divide things. But for now, this is kind of doing what I originally intended it to, at least initially. So let's just give it a good test. We'll drop the atoms directly onto it. We've got stuff going to bone meal direction, the andesite, and the cobble. So if I grab my crusher, here's the idea of what I wanted to do. Put it on this. We need to give it fuel. We're going to give it stone, andesite, and bones. No, bones. Bones themselves, not bone meal. Because the crusher will turn them into bone meal. Let's go for it. Boom, 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 boom. Now the crusher is actually a little slower than the conveyor or the sorter is right at the moment. So all the cobble should go off this direction. I forgot to put a hopper at the end of this thing. Looks like if you were doing this in the real world, we'd have some spillage off to the sides, so you'd want some type of conveyor system to deal with that. That's not the sorter doing that, though. Actually, the sorter could help with that, because right now, any item entity you spawn in the world kind of just goes scattered, has a momentum to it, so we can just zero out that momentum. So far, so good. Every piece of andesite that's going into it's going the right way. Every piece of cobble is going the right way. Probably put a little bit too much of this stuff in here. Probably should get that an inventory screen at some point so you can see what's in it. Andesite, andesite, andesite. Well, let's let that run in the background. We'll check on it in a minute. So all the bones should come out this way. Let's let that run off there on that side. Well, I take this over here and pull up the tile entity for my crusher. And look where it's spawning things in the world. Yeah, it's setting the motion of all these. Okay, so we can do that and do it to the screen down in where it's spawning things in the world. Right here. And we just change it to this. And save. Oop, nope. There we go. Continue running the program. Awesome. So now, they shouldn't spit off the sides like this if I did it right. Let's go ahead and pick all these up. Because it's going to spawn them directly in the center there, and they won't have any motion left or right, at least initially, until the conveyor picks them up and starts pushing them. And perfect, bone meal's going the way it should. We're not getting any spillage anymore. That's the way you want to see this thing working, guys. Awesome. Now, I can't check this off my list completely, like I said, because I want to add some additional features to this thing. We need to properly handle things like metadata. How are we going to handle, different types of wood getting sorted into this? Do we want to force the player to have to put in each individual type of wood? For example, I believe all these have the same block ID. So there's block ID 5, 5, 5, 5 for all those. But look at the number after them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's do this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right now we're going to be checking to make sure it's the same metadata value. Or no, we're not. We're not even looking at the metadata. What in the world? I thought we were. We'll have to check that. That's for sure. Must have a bug there. So to the north, everything should be that block. So it should all go north when I put in andesite. Or not andesite, acacia wood. Okay, what happens when I put in jungle wood? It went the same way, because that's the first one it runs into. Yeah, okay, so we got a little bug there. I do want it to be metadata specific, at least initially. I might later give an option to the players. Yeah, we're only checking the item. Oh, okay. Well, that's simple enough. I thought we did both. And get item. You know what, let's just do this. Boom. Boom. Dot get metadata. And we're going to pass in the same slot or the same stack to get that. Dot get meta. Pass in the same slot. Bingo. Now we should be wood type specific. You will know what to do with those. Oh, wait. Oh yeah, that's to the east. Okay. So now acacia should only go north, and only acacia. Got some wood that doesn't know how to handle, so it just backstuffs it. And the that's funny. Because there's a block here, it can't actually output that. So if I do that, it spits it all right there. Cool. I think we're working. And then, of course, some of you are probably saying, well, that's kind of stupid. It's under your conveyor feeding into it, right? Well, just grab another conveyor. These things are pretty flexible. There. It's no longer underneath it, guys. Should spit right out and land right here. Get them to go wherever you want. Wherever you want. Okay, so now I think what we need to do is set it up so that it checks all 4 directions. If all 4 directions are not a fit, then we need to, as we're checking each of the 4 directions, get a list of which ones are null and spit it out to the first null one it encounters. So if there's not an item in there, that's the default direction it'll go to, right? Okay, so we've done the check for all the items, all the slots. It has tried all the slots. It wasn't successful because we know if it's successful in spawning it, it's going to return and go back to it's just going to be done basically. It's going to go never run any more code after that. So once it actually spawns it in the world, it's done with that one. So now we can go down again and start to remove some of these null checks for the I side of things. We want it to be null. So if the stack is null on that side, we don't need to check the item itself anymore for being null. We want to check the slot 4 for being null though, however. We want it to be equal to null. So if it's equal null, we're now going to output that item. So we tried to check everything. It doesn't match anything in the list. We're now going to look through the list of the slots again, all 4 of those slots. If there's not a good slot to go down, we're going to put it out that slot. Or if there's not an item in that slot, we're going to put it out that slot then. That should be it. I think we just set the default. That was really easy. Okay, so now if I take this out of here, and let's say we throw bone meal into it, it should go out the south. Oops. It's all going out south. Let's say we throw cobble at it. Let's throw a conveyor at it. Shoot. Bone meal. That goes out that way. That it goes out that way. That it goes out that way. Over here you can see on my screen. Let's throw acacia at it. It should come out of here. Perfect. That's what we want. We'll throw oak at it. It's going to go out over there. Perfect. Throw birch. It's going to go that way. And back to bone meal. It's going to go that way. Okay, now let's throw bone meal in that slot and give it cobble. Should do nothing. Perfection. That's exactly what we want to see happen, because now the defaulting works. You can really set this thing up efficiently. Like I was originally saying, let's divert this stream of conveyors. Get rid of that one. So we're going to send stuff conveying off this way. We're going to push it a little bit extra because we want the items to align a little bit more onto the block. If you don't do that, sometimes they'll be right on the very edge. What'll happen sometimes, especially once you go around 2 corners, because it gets further and further over. But anyway, this just helps a little bit. So we're going to do that. Get everything on the conveyor belt nice and good. What else? We're going to go up a bit. Go over. And then we're going to drop these items down. We're going to force them to fall into where we want. We don't want them to go too far forward. Or off to the side. Okay, then we're going to run this into our sorter. Sorter. Screen. It's called a screen. Stop calling it a sorter. The sorter is not directional. It doesn't matter which way you place it, because it looks at... You know what? Instead, it looks at north, south, east, west. The cardinal directions. Just trying to get rid of all this stuff out of my way. Okay, so now we've got all this set up. Let's set up a hopper and a chest. System. Hopper. Yeah, you need hoppers because you got to get them into the chest, right? Can't just take an item out of the world and put it in the chest by default. Okay, and then a chest there. Another chest over here. And then, okay, so we want each of those 3 to be specific items. So let's see, our north, let's just look north when we do this. That makes our life a lot easier. So we want all cobble to go on down the line. We want diamonds. We want redstone. We want lapis. So diamonds to the east, redstone to the north, lapis to the south. Oops, we don't need a whole stack in there, we just need 1. The stack size doesn't really matter, but hey, why not? Okay, so that'll make all of those ores sorted directly to where they need to be. Now everything else is going to come out this direction, so let's continue this line on. Let's set up yet another lift and conveyor, and then another sorter. So we're going to be... And again, these are just to ensure that they don't fly off the sides. It's probably not necessary, but I'm going to do it anyway. Just for this test run. And then right here, another sorter. Our screen. Then each of the 4 directions. Give me a conveyor to push the items and a hopper. Oh, we need hoppers, conveyors on our hotbar. We need a little bit of building blocks. We need chest. And then we need... that's about it. For actually building it, we need the items on the first couple lots. Okay, it's going into there, and into there. And then continue to line on. So we're setting up our ore processing plant, which is starting to look a lot like a real world crusher conveying system. We can make it kind of look diagonal by doing this, if we wanted to. Oops. There. Kind of lift them up at a little bit of an angle if you want to make it look more realistic. Get rid of that one, get rid of that one, get rid of that one. They'll lift up at an angle again. And then down here is going to be whatever's left, right? So with first two we had that. Let's process our coal into here. What else do we got, guys? Ore. We could put emeralds somewhere, but we're not going to deal with emeralds. Let's do iron and gold. And then that last conveyor line is going to be our excess line. That's just going to be a little bit of everything. It's going to be a hodgepodge, right? So, like a that. That should work. And we need to set up the directions. We're facing north, so that makes our life easier. We're going to put coal over on that side, iron to the right, and gold down here to the south. Wait. We're going to get ingots out of this. So we're going to do iron. No, we're not going to get ingots. We're going to get dust. Dust. So we're going to put our gold iron dust that way and our gold dust this way. And if we wanted to, of course, we could set these directly into furnaces that get fed coal even. We could have the coal come out this side over here, loop around underneath and go into a hopper that feeds into the back of the thing, and then on the top our dust go into it, and out the bottom of it we have a hopper that kind of pulls the items out the bottom and then sends them along. So really we could set up a complete ore processing just like any other mod. So we need coal, diamond, what else? Redstone, lapis, coal, diamond, redstone, lapis, iron, and gold. If I can spell gold. Okay, let's drop them in our system here. And away it goes. I must have put fuel in it already. I don't remember doing that. I hope I don't have a bug. Okay, so our coal's racing up there, and it's getting sorted on correctly because it's not that item. It's not in that one, so it's going on to the default route. And this one, it is in a specific route, so it's going on over here. And you can see that the hopper is picking it up and putting it into the inventory like it should be. I guess if you had enough items thrown at this at one time, it could potentially overflow a hopper, but that's kind of your problem, right? You have to deal with that somehow. Maybe you use a different mod's item picking up type device, or maybe eventually I'll put something in myself. But you can see our diamonds went ahead and started sorting down the right way. Yes, this is overly complicated and kind of rude or burgish to make it climb this high. You don't have to climb this high. You could feed it in directly at this height here and all that stuff, but it just looks cooler, right? I mean, you've got things that look more realistic. And wow, that is a lot of lapis. The lapis output is high. Okay, we're doing good around this corner. We're not getting stuck on the edge and falling off this conveyor line. That's what we wanted. Same thing here. We're not getting stuck on that block there. We could always put another conveyor facing in if it was an issue. But yeah, we've got ore processing, right, guys? Woo! Ore processing, sorting, automated smelting, really. I mean, you just got to set up some hoppers with directing the items to where they need to be into a furnace. Eventually, I might add a faster kind of. How do I say this? A faster words. Faster furnace type device. Like there's a in some mining companies. There's a thing that's I don't know what it's really called. A blast furnace, I guess. It's this gas-powered chamber, like natural gas. It's a circle, and it's a barrel. It's real long, circular barrel. That's the best way of describing it. So it's kind of like that in shape on the inside. And it's long, so that's why I'm making it a little longer here. And what it does is it rotates so that the material kind of slides up the side, but it's also built at a bit of an angle, so say this side is lower than this side over here of it, so it wants to slide down it. And it has fire coming at it from every direction basically inside this thing, because there's holes in the screen that runs through it. It's kind of cool looking. But yeah, we should only have gold here, iron here, that matches up, coal in this one, yep. And here we should have redstone, diamonds, which is what we had, and to the south we should have lapis. Yes, everything worked. Now anything excess should go down there, so let's see if we can throw in just some junk items. Make sure it all goes down to there at the very end, then we know everything's working. Let's put some saplings in. Right? And away it goes. It's all coming out the end. Awesome. Nothing's going into any of these other chests. I'm happy. I think we have mission accomplished for right now, guys. I am probably going to take a little break from streaming for a while. Get some lunch and things like that. Do some things around the house. But I'll probably be back on later today. Assuming I get some time, and we'll work on something else in the mod. Maybe getting this thing a texture and looking a little nicer than what it does right now. So, this Techstack signing off for now. Like I said, I'll probably be back later today. It's Sunday the 22nd. Have a good day, guys.